Oh my god, is this on? We are back. The Horror Headquarters is back. Hi guys, welcome to episode 18 of season 2 of the Horror Headquarters. I can't even believe I'm recording this episode right now. It's been far too long. I apologize in advance for taking forever to do this. There's just been so much happening over the past 2 months, or even really the past year. I've been working on my short film. There's been a lot of personal things that have been happening, a lot of really scary things that have been occurring, but I'm pushing through and I'm finally able to sit down during this amazing month of October and talk about so many amazing things that I love talking about, horror based. So I hope you guys are all doing an amazing. All doing it amazing. You hear how I'm talking? I can't even speak. I forgot how to do podcasting. So I hope you all guys are all doing great. Today's episode is going to be about Eloise Asylum. Now, I have been to Eloise twice in the past year, so I'm going to be talking about both experiences in kind of a special way. So sharing my experience from both in a really fun way. I'm really excited for that. Before we do that, I just want to thank everyone for following along, for being here to support me during this time, and just continuing to even listen to old episodes while waiting for me to come back and release a new episode. Now, I'm hoping to release as many episodes as possible until the end of October. If that doesn't happen, I promise you I will try my best to release episodes throughout the month of November. Again, there's just still a lot going on, but without further ado, I'd love to talk to you guys about my experience at Eloise Asylum, because it is definitely very horrific, very scary, and there's a lot to cover. A lot to cover in it. It just gives me shivers talking about it. I have my crystals on, I have my necklace on. Curl up on a couch in your seat. If you're sleeping, if you're driving, just sit back, relax, and enjoy the ride. Now, for those of you that don't know what Eloise Asylum is, it was a poorhouse that was founded in 1832 in Wayne County and then was shut down in 1986. And it housed thousands of residents, people that were mentally incapable of doing daily activities, people that had electroshock therapy completed, or just really treated horribly over there. And we all know mental institutions are not really the greatest places to be. But 10,000 residents was its peak, and that was during the Great Depression. And over the 40 years past the Great Depression, population began to decrease, and then the state of Michigan took over in 1982, and the General Hospital closed in 1986. Now, the building itself was named after Eloise Dickerson, who was the daughter of the then Detroit postmaster. And keep in mind, at its peak, Eloise was a massive complex of over 75 buildings on 900 acres. It had its own dairy, own bakery, own fire and police department. It was ginormous. It's just crazy to think that 99% of those buildings are now demolished, and there's one or two buildings remaining, which is actually going to be shortening down to possibly one very soon, because they are destroying one of the complexes that's literally right next to the main building. I have never been inside. I've always wanted to go inside of there. It's like an old manufacturing building. Alright, I just double checked really quick. It's the power plant right next door. They actually had a lot of storage in there. The entire infrastructure, I've seen it from the outside. It looks horrific. It looks like it could collapse at any moment. So I understand why they're going to demolish it. But back in May, they actually did open it up for tours that people could actually go and do some paranormal investigations. And I don't know when they're going to demolish it, but I just know I'm going to be a little bit devastated. And I know that might not sound weird, but I've been wanting to go in that building for the longest time. I just haven't had the opportunity. Hopefully before it's demolished, I get to, but if not, it's completely okay. So yeah, of 78 buildings that were created, only about 4 remain, which is going to, again, come down, 1 down, because of the power plant. Now, my haunted experiences. Now, I love Eloise. I love going there. I love, because it's not bad energy that I experience there, but you definitely feel so many different presences there. Like, there is something there. There's multiple things there. And I can confirm, even before going into this episode, that it is 100% haunted, if not 110% haunted. Now, the first tour that I did, I believe, was in July, if I'm remembering correctly, where we were allowed to do one of the escape rooms. So that one wasn't exactly a tour per se, but it was more so an escape room, and then you have like a tour guide take you around some areas of the building. The second one that I did in September, which was last month, I was allowed to go on any floor I wanted. You were basically free-fledged, whatever you wanted, obviously not the power plant. But I will say, on the experience that I had in July, I recorded a bunch of stuff, which I haven't even looked at, because I witnessed some pretty horrific things, and I think the main thing that really disturbed me about this walkthrough was I was experiencing things and I was too afraid to say something, but I will say there were a couple things that really stood out, and I want to get into those right now. Now, second floor we walked through, third floor we walked through, and the fourth floor. We did not go to the attic, we did not go to the basement. The third floor and the fourth floor are beyond the most horrific floors. I think possibly the third floor is the worst of them all. On the third floor, I went into one of the bathrooms. And keep in mind, the water does not run in any of these buildings, in these rooms. It does not work. Piping has been pulled out, like, it doesn't work. So I walked into the room, and there was a bunch of other people in there, just looking around, moseying around. One of the doors to one of the bathroom areas was open, just a little crack. I looked in and I heard water. I heard water dripping. And I like opened it a little bit, and there was no water on the floor. And I looked at everyone, they're like, what are you looking at? I'm like, I hear water dripping. Like, I used to say something like, I hear water dripping. I look back, and there's this black figure in there. I book it out. Completely book it. Everyone's just looking like, what's going on? And then the tour guide, I guess I can call her a tour guide, but she's like walking us through the area. She's like, wait, what's going on? What's going on? I'm like, I just heard water dripping in there, and I saw something. She said, you heard water dripping? I'm like, yeah. She's like, oh my god. I'm like, why? She's like, the water hasn't been working in the part of this building for a very long time, so that's pretty much impossible unless like it's leaking from the ceiling. I said, no, I looked for watermarks like on the floor. I did not see anything. And then I told her I saw a figure. She said that that's actually not as common, but many people have reported hearing water dripping in the bathrooms. But that black figure that I saw in July, I unfortunately also saw again in September, and I know I'm jumping around right now. When I saw it in September, it had much more of a demonic presence, and I couldn't even walk into the room. It gives me shivers just talking about it, and again, I know I'm jumping around. When I walked past that bathroom in September with one of my friends, I think her name is Nikki. I need to double check because I don't want to mispronounce her name. I know she's gonna get so mad if I do, because we had such an amazing conversation. Nikita. Okay, Nikita, if you're listening, I miss you and I hope you're doing well. But she walked into the bathroom and I said, get out, like, don't go in there, come back out. I saw the black figure on the floor staring at me, like in that same bathroom area. I couldn't believe it, and there was people that wanted to go in there. I'm like, do not go in there, there's something in there, and it feels very demonic, it feels very evil. It had such a strong hold on me when I went back in September, so I'm assuming it knew what I was from the last experience that I had, but I would have never expected that. It completely caught me off guard. Now back to my visit in July. We were doing a bunch of walkthroughs. I was honestly able to identify a bunch of rooms. Now, I'm not saying that's psychic powers or anything, but we walked into one of the rooms. I'm like, this smells like bread. Was this a kitchen or a bakery? She's like, yes, it was a bakery. I'm like, oh my god. And she's like, how did you know that? I'm like, I smell fresh bread in here. And then we walked into one main room. It's actually hitting me right now because just talking about it sends shivers down my spine. We walked into this big open room. And there was this little area, like at the corner, at the back corner of the room. It had like this little area, like, you know where people talk on the telephone back then during like the 30s and 40s, and like there's a door that would close and they would be able to have a conversation. It looked like that. As soon as I walked in there, my ears popped. They popped and I stepped back and I said, whoa. I actually have it on video if I remember, because I was recording like everything that was going on as much as possible. Ears popped. I stepped back and I like trying to get my hearing back, and I like was asking for the tour guide. I'm like, where are you? I'm like, is this room an audio room? And she's like, how did you know that? I'm like, oh my god. And everyone was looking at me like so creepy. I'm like, guys, I promise I'm not evil, I swear. I started laughing. Just talking about it chokes me up because it was so freaky. She said that that room that I walked into was done for music therapy. You can't tell by what it looks like. Like, obviously, it's in a corner in the back, but there's nothing inside that really shouts out to you that it was an audio room or music therapy room. So obviously at this point, everyone's freaked out at me. They like are hesitant to even come near me. Now, a lot of times, like, we would hear things outside. They're like, oh, is that something? Like, no, that's just a car passing by. Or like I would hear like footsteps. I'm like, no, that's just someone walking. So I was able to debunk like their things. Like, they were trying to like make me think that I was crazy. I'm like, no, I can tell when something's real and when something's not. That's not how it works. And they finally believed me. I will say, walking through the hallways of Eloise Asylum, it's definitely a kind of a dark, ethereal experience. It's kind of an out-of-body experience that you enjoy. Like, it's satisfying to do, but at the same time, it's very disturbing because you're reminded of all the things that happened in this specific building. I mean, it housed over 400 people, both infants, adults, old people, you name it. And they did all kinds of therapy in this building. They did electroshock therapy, they did music therapy, all these different types of things that were done in one building. And all these offices, these narrow hallways, these broken elevators, these different staircases, just makes you think and be empathetic towards what was occurring behind closed doors, why it ended up shutting down, what could have happened to people while they were here, why is it haunted today. Just makes you ask a lot of different questions. Alright, I just want to put this out there now. It was actually June, the end of June. It felt like July for some reason. It was June 26th that we went and visited Eloise Asylum. I'm sorry. Again, I haven't looked at my footage. I just checked it. Just looking back at it gives me the creepos. Alright, now some other things that definitely stuck out when I was at Eloise Asylum was I heard a woman weeping on the 4th floor. Like, horrifically weeping. And I just remember pausing and just like constantly looking, like trying to wonder where this woman was coming from, like where these cries are coming from. Everywhere I looked, and I did not find this lady. Because it felt like the sound was like all around you, so you couldn't really depict it into a specific room, if that even makes any sense. But the cries of this woman were something that honestly made me want to leave the asylum at that time. I like looked at the tour guide. I'm like, I'm hearing a woman weep now. I don't know if I can do this anymore. She actually told me this is actually very, very common. People hear a weeping woman a lot. She's usually draped in white and she's crying over a lost baby. I'm like, what? Okay, I'm doing this for you guys. I'm actually looking back at the footage that I recorded and it just reminded me of something. When I was there in June, there was this one room. I don't know what it was for, but there was a bunch of lockers in there. And this is gonna sound really weird. I heard the Nun music. I know that sounds really weird, like I said. You know, if you've ever watched The Nun, the music that the nun, Valak, has when she's arriving, when she's present, that's literally the music I heard and I felt. It scared the shit out of me. And I did not walk into that room. I actually asked the tour guide, I'm like, what happened in this room? Please tell me what happened in this room. She said there's nothing specific that we know, like there was nothing that she knew. But I will say there were bathtubs in there. She said there's bathtubs in there where people did drown a lot. A lot of people did drown in there. And the lockers were also meant to help keep supplies for people, for patients. All their personal belongings were left in there. I told her I feel something very, very demonic in there. Like horrifically demonic. And I couldn't even find myself to find the words. And she saw me, and everyone actually did see me. My whole face was flushed red, my ears are red. I was hyperventilating like crazy. It just really goes to show you that anytime you visit one of these places, you have to keep yourself protected, which I was. I had my crystals on, I had my evil eye, put a protective aura around me. Like, if you don't know what that is, you basically imagine a white light around you. I found that to be very helpful. Again, I had my crystals on, I had my necklace on, so I felt protected, but just the energy of something like that really does throw you off in a way you'll never forget. Right now, that's all I can think of my June visit. Obviously, there's so much more, but they're kind of like tidbits here and there. I will say, let me know in the comment section, either here on Spotify or on my Instagram, if you guys would like me to release the footage I recorded on that day. And I'm not going to say it's the best footage in the world, but a lot of times you'll hear me whispering, you like witness me feeling things. You'll be like, whoa, what is he doing that? I have recorded a bunch of content from that day, so let me know if you guys would want me to release it, because my visit September 25th, I actually did not record much, if I even did. Actually, it wasn't September, it was August. See, I'm getting the dates mixed up. I have to double check, man. I have to double check. Maybe it was September 25th. Regardless, let me know, guys, if you want me to release the footage from that specific day. Now, let's move to my most recent visit of Eloise, which was definitely much more dark. I tried to enjoy it more, but the things I saw on that day, I can't even begin to describe, but I'm gonna do my best. Now, before diving into my visit from September 25th, I just have to shout out the staff at Eloise Asylum. They're so sweet and respectful, and I love that every time I go, they recognize me. Like, oh, you're the one with the podcast. You're the one that's always talking about Eloise. I'm like, oh my god, that's one of the best compliments in the world. Like, I went on September 25th, the lady instantly recognized me. She's like, oh my god, Hassan from the horror headquarters. I'm like, yeah. She's like, oh, we're so happy you're here. I'm like, oh no, I'm so excited. Just talking about Eloise makes me so excited because of how truly haunted it is. And you guys know I will tell you if a place isn't haunted. This place is haunted, as I said at the beginning. But I think just that recognition itself and the fact that they even follow me, watch me jinx myself, hopefully I don't, let me knock on wood really quick. But overall, very kind and friendly people. Invited me back September 25th for yet another Yelp event where we got to do a full-fledged walkthrough of wherever we wanted, which I think was really cool. We got to go through each floor. We were allowed to go to the attic. Just so freaking cool. This was actually my first time in the attic. My very first time, and I went with Nikita. Hopefully she's listening. I really hope she is, because she really did make this day very fun and special, and I just had so much fun learning about like her experience at Eloise, because she's been there many times, and just so much fun. Like, she's never experienced anything, which is crazy. I'm like, how have you not experienced anything? Like, it's so haunted here. She's like, I think the ghosts don't like me here, or maybe they are like, oh, this person again. I couldn't stop laughing. But obviously, each place to their own, to each person their own. Some places might be haunted for one person, some places not for another. But I will say, the energy in this place is definitely horrific and haunted. I met Nikita and we instantly started going through every single floor, walking through. Didn't feel anything the first time. Now, when I say feel anything, I mean I didn't like see anything horrifically terrible. Went to the attic for the first time, so freaking cool. The condition of it is not the greatest though, I will say. Like, I peeked and I'm like, I am not walking on that. I went up the stairs and I'm like, I'm not walking on that area over there. Nikita's over there just like moseying around. I'm like, yeah, I pray to have the same guts that Nikita has one day. No, I'm just gonna put it out there right now and say what made this visit very different is the places that I went back in June this time were much more stronger in energy. I felt energy surrounding me at all times, and it wasn't all good. I felt a very conflicting energy, and anytime I looked down a hallway, I felt like something was watching me at all times. And Nikita was actually present during much of this. And there was one hall specifically, I forgot if it was the third or fourth floor, but I just remember looking down and feeling something like calling me. Like, I was so hyper focused on waiting for something to appear. Nothing was appearing. As soon as I was about to pull back, I saw some white figure at the corner of like the door opening, just at the corner, walking out, and I freaked out. I picked up my phone, tried to take a picture, and it was gone. And Nikita, at this moment, she was in a different room. She ran over. She didn't see it either. And obviously, like, if I'm seeing something, I'm not expecting her to see it, but freaked out, told her I'm leaving. I'm not doing this. Like, I have to go. Now, obviously, there was many other experiences I had leading up to this, but that was by far possibly the most horrific thing ever. There was a time when we were doing the first walkthrough where I heard footsteps or I heard screams. Now, there was a lot of traffic outside, there was a lot of people outside, so things like that were happening, I'd be like, yeah, that's just outside, or that's just outside, just to kind of prove myself to Nikita. Now, obviously, I'm not saying I have to prove myself to anyone, but like in the most respectful way, like to show her that I'm not completely crazy. Honestly, if someone says I'm crazy, that's a compliment. I take it as a compliment. I don't care if anyone thinks I'm crazy. But just through the experience of being there with her kind of give me some validation in a way. Like, it made me feel good, meaning that, you know, someone believed me in these endeavors that I was doing. Because this is something that I didn't ask for. It's both a gift and a curse. And I actually talked with a paranormal investigator on site because there was a bunch of companies there. And I talked to a paranormal investigator there. And he told me, he's like, it's a gift and a curse. I told him I 1010% agree. I don't want it, but since I have it, I want to try to do some good with it, or try to share my thoughts and experiences with other people that wonder if places are haunted, if spirits exist, because they do. And while I was talking with this paranormal investigator, I was with Nikita at the time, he was talking and then he stopped for a second and I felt something very cold. I felt a cold sensation throughout my body. I didn't say anything because I didn't want him to think like, oh, he's just saying this for coincidence. He looks at Nikita and he said, she just walked past you. And she's like, who? She's like, a spirit just walked past you. Because a detector went off at the same time next to Nikita. It was on the table and it's a detector. It can detect motion. And it went off when he said it. I kept my mouth shut. I didn't say anything. So Nikita, if you're hearing this, I felt what he saw. I felt it. I felt the cold sensation. I just didn't want it to be coincidence. Be like, oh yeah, I felt it too. You know, because that's what typically happens. Like, someone brings up something like that. They're like, yeah, I felt it too. Yeah, I'm paranormal. I can feel this kind of things. I'm, you know, have all these special things. No, I felt it. I felt the cold sensation. I just didn't say anything. I will say though, that day that I left, I Unfortunately, and I can't believe I'm saying this, I did feel something latch onto me, but I got rid of it before I left the premises. So what I did at that moment, I had my crystals with me. I kind of held them in my hand, and I imagined that white light around me. I started saying some prayers from the Quran. I started saying some surahs, just protection. And as soon as I entered my car, that feeling was gone. Now, before I left, I actually walked outside with Nikita. Like I said, I know I'm walking back and forth, and I hope I'm pronouncing her name correctly. If I'm not, I'm gonna feel so sad. We're walking outside. There's this big well that's boarded up now. And she's like, I'm curious if you're gonna feel anything. Now, obviously, I'm not gonna lie and be like, yeah, I feel something. Just walking around. I didn't feel anything on the first round around. Like when I first roamed around it, I didn't feel anything. There was one area though that I felt something was like attracting me. It felt like a magnet, if that even makes sense, was dragging me towards the interior of the well, and it was in one specific area. And what I did is I closed my eyes, I started walking around it again, and I felt it. I stopped, I opened my eyes, it was the same exact spot I felt when I was first looking at it. So I knew at that moment it wasn't a coincidence, it wasn't just, my self-conscious trying to trick me. No, it was real. Now, I have done my research on this well. I don't know if it's anything specific because I'm seeing a lot of conflicting, reports from it. Some people saying that it was used by the facility, by faculty, by patients to whisper their dreams and hopes into. Other people are saying it was just an area where they would collect water for when it was a poorhouse, when they would have to feed animals. I'm not sure. There's a lot of conflicting moments and a lot of conflicting reports. But I will say the point still stands, and whatever I felt was very strong. It felt like a magnet, it felt like it wanted to pull me in. Just did not feel the best, cleansed. It felt very demonic. I will say in this specific visit, I did take some pictures of the hallway that I was referencing earlier when I said I saw kind of a draped, I think it was a woman, if I'm remembering correctly. It was a draped woman with an all white. And I want you to think about that for a second, because even saying that out loud really just hit me right now. Remember when I told you guys I heard a woman weeping back in June when I did the first walkthrough, and the tour guide told me that they see a white woman that's draped in white. She's draped in white and she cries over a lost baby. Is that what I saw? Now it's like hitting me right now. That's so creepy. Like saying it out loud, it just clicked for me that that's possibly what I saw. And this is the example of that. The experiences I had in June were much more enhanced on my third visit to Eloise, because I've been to it since last year, but I went twice this year, so this would be the third visit. Third time's a charm, I guess they say. But yeah, that definitely leaves me with a very disturbing feeling. So I will say with both visits combined, I enjoyed my visit, of course. There's something else though that I left out because I wanted to save until the end of the episode. On my way out, back in June, I went to the little gift shop and I bought me a shirt that said, I believe in me, and it has a ghost on it, and it says Eloise at the bottom. Bought that for myself, but at the same time, I saw all these pieces of broken glassware, basically that were dumped behind Eloise Asylum that they have preserved and they're selling to people. And me being the crazy, insane person that I am, I ended up buying a piece, and I bought the one that called to me with positive energy, because some of them call with negative energy. I picked one. I'm actually looking at it right now. It's in my room, but before you guys freak out, I did bless it. Before I even came into the house, I blessed it, and then I took it inside. I saged the entire thing, and I did some kind of prayer around it. I don't feel any negative energy from it. Since then, I'm not saying there was negative energy when I bought it, but you never know. It can be very sneaky sometimes. So that's what I did. Surrounded it with sage. Surrounded my entire room with sage. And it's now in my room. And I have a piece of Eloise in my home. And I always look at it every single day because it just reminds me that I believe in me. That I believe in myself. And anytime I wear that shirt that says I believe in me, it just makes me feel good. So I was going to ask you guys, do you think I'm crazy by bringing a piece home of history from Eloise Asylum? Do you think I'm probably just overthinking it? Let me know in the comment section, either here on Instagram, if you guys want to, even on YouTube. I know there's so many different platforms that I'm on right now, but let me know your thoughts on that specific thing. And with that, that's gonna close out episode 18 of the Horror Headquarters. I can't even believe I'm saying the end of episode 18 because just returning after 2 months of so many different crazy changes, both good and bad, I'm back and I'm recording episodes again, and I just hope this continues. I hope I don't leave you guys another 2 months. I don't plan on it. I hope I don't do that. I will say though, I'm so grateful for you guys again. Like I said in the beginning, I have so much more planned. I'd love to talk about some new horror films I've watched recently, some really weird experiences I've been having in the house, and many other things that I've done recently. I'm just eager to bring that up to you guys because I did visit a candlelight performance of horror films being performed, like the soundtracks, and I'm gonna throwing that teaser out there right now, so just keep an eye out for that. Hopefully I'll get that one by the end of this month. But regardless of what happens, you guys, thank you so much. I hope you guys love this episode, enjoy it, share it with a family, a friend. Eloise Asylum, if you're listening, I love you guys so much. I appreciate you guys dearly. Thank you again for inviting me. Nikita, thank you. To everyone I met at the Yelp events, thank you so much. I hope you guys again enjoy this episode. Please share it with your friends, share it to your Instagram. Watch this and listen to this on Halloween. Check out my podcast. I appreciate the love, you guys. Rate it at 5 stars. You can rate it on Apple Podcasts and on Spotify. Sending so much love to you guys. And again, I appreciate you so much. I can't wait to talk about my horror film that I've released. It is linked in this caption though, if you guys want to check it out. It is linked because I'm trying to save all the little tidbits for another episode. But yes, my horror film is now out. That's what I've been working on for literally since the beginning of this year to the end of September. That's what I was doing that entire time. And even when I was not working, I was working because thinking of ideas, thinking of scenes, how I was going to cut a certain thing, thinking of the soundtrack, the characters. It's a big process. So I'm gonna leave you guys there. Love you guys dearly. Hope you guys enjoyed. Eloise, I love you. Thank you guys for listening. And as always, tread very lightly and pray for forgiveness. Midnight hour is approaching.